SoCal219 here, and I'm going to do a video. I wanted to do top 5 handguns that I bought in 2020, and these are some of the handguns that I recommend to buy. It was really hard to choose from. I bought quite a few handguns this year, along with a long gun or two, so I narrowed it down, but I have quite a bit of honorable mentions. So let's get to it. So number 5 on my list, I should say, number 5 on my list is this little gun that I picked up this year, which is a Glock 43. Now, the Glock firearms have been around for quite some time. Everybody knows about them. Some people hate them. Some people love them. Me, I'm kind of in the middle. But this one served a purpose. I traded my Glock 19 for this 43 just to downsize for another gun that I could carry in the summertime that I could conceal a little bit better than that Glock 19. So this is what I went with. It's pretty nice. It's got fiber optic front sight, blacked out rear sight. Came with 5 magazines on the trade, plus this precious extension where I can get a couple more rounds in there. So this is one of the guns that I got in 2020, which is the Glock 43 on a trade. The next one that I got was from my local shop. I always shop there. The people have been courteous to me. I've heard some other stories, but I've never had a problem there. And it's my 442, my Smith&Wesson 442. And if you can see it, yes, it does say, "Don't tread on me." So I did get the DTOM version, which kicked it up, I think, an extra 20 bucks. But all in all, this gun has been very reliable. It's in 38 special. I take this gun hunting. I take it to the store when I'm just going to be out for a short period of time. Even sometimes I'll carry it with an extra speed loader, of course, just for, the nostalgia of carrying a nice Smith&Wesson revolver instead of all the semi-autos that are out there. So I changed it up, and I got this one this year, which is the Smith&Wesson 442 chambered in 38 special. The next one that I picked up was, again, another Smith&Wesson revolver. This is a 642 Ladysmith. Now, everybody can say what they want to say, but this thing is pretty good looking with the rosewood grips. Again, it's only 5 shots. As you can see there, it's only 5 shots. But still, again, I needed another gun to carry in the summertime and, just be a little bit different, which is the stainless version with the rosewood grips. Very, very nice gun that I can conceal very well. Yes, it is in 38 special, but I think 38 special is a round that can get it done if you put the round on target with good shot placement. I think it would dispatch the threat. So that's why I have 2 38 specials. One is because don't tread on me. The other one because this one looks really, really nice. I enjoy it. So that's one of the guns that I picked up in 2020 that was very surprising. That I could find it at the deal that I got it at. So if you can get your hands on some of these Smith&Wesson small revolvers, it's well worth the money. So on to the next one. The next gun on my list is this one right here. This is the FNS 9 from FN. Very good gun. Really enjoyed shooting this gun this past year. Got it for a pretty good deal. I think I paid under $300 or a little over $300 for this gun. Usually these guns are running around the $450, almost $500 range in some aspects. But I bought this from a customer who was talking about he couldn't shoot this gun very well. So I offered to buy his gun when he said that, and boom, there you go. So I got it. I shot the gun pretty well. It took me a couple of magazines to get the feel of the gun, but yet it still turned out to be a good gun. So previously I talked about my Glock 19. Well, that's why I got rid of the Glock 19 and went to the 43, because I had this gun. The 19 and this gun are really comparable for, quality, because FN firearms are very reliable, and capacity. So there wasn't really a need to have two guns that almost are the same and pretty much serve the same purpose. So I can carry this one in the wintertime, maybe in the early springtime, and still feel comfortable without it, coming uncovered. So this is a gun that I highly recommend that you can find it, first of all, with everything going on, to pick one up at a good price. So again, they range from about $450 close to $500 and some change. But if you can find these guns, pick it up. It's a great value. And this is another one that I have for the 2020 tick down as we get to the number one choice. So one of the honorable mentions that I have is from a company that I could have swore I wasn't going to ever buy a gun from. Kind of happens. I've seen it happen before, and it's Beretta. Beretta was a company that made decent firearms, and I had bought a Beretta Thunder and gave it to Cindy to carry. We took it to the range so she could get used to it, and it just stopped working. The trigger stopped, and there was a little piece in there that broke. Tried to call Beretta's customer service, and they gave me the runaround. I mean, to the point where I was sitting on the phone with them, getting disconnected. Just the customer service alone was piss poor. Then I saw these guns that came into work, before the cough came through, and I was really hesitant on buying one of these guns. I ended up doing it. When you buy a budget gun, you never know what you're going to get yourself into, and I said, I'll give it a shot. But if this gun is going to be really horrible, then I'm really going to drag Beretta's name through the ground every chance that I get. Lucky for them, they shipped out a gun that actually works well. Not only that, I would put this right below a Glock, like a Glock 42 or a Glock 43, or even a 26, just because some of the other features that those Glocks don't come with. And that's a Picatinny rail, like my 43 does not have one, and it has a really nice trigger. I would say it's almost better than a Glock trigger. I wish I could take this trigger out and put it in some of my other budget guns, but I digress. So I bought this gun thinking, I'm going to go out on a limb again and I might get a lemon. But no, I have almost, I think, 300 rounds or maybe a little bit over 300 rounds in this gun, and it's turned out to be reliable. So hopefully this ammo shortage kind of winds itself down. I can go out and put another 150, 300 rounds through this gun. That way I can trust it to carry this gun in the summertime because it's very concealable. Again, it comes with some really good features like the rail, the good trigger, and it's very slim, so it's very comparable for carry. You can really hide this gun well. I put it in a couple holsters and walked around my property with it just to get the feel of carrying the firearm, and it works really well for concealed carry. So that's one of my honorable mentions. The next gun, number 2 for an honorable mention, is a gun that's been around the gun culture scene for quite some time, and that's the Bulgarian Makarov. A lot of people say a surplus gun. Yes, a surplus gun. We had a shoot earlier this year, and we went to a friend's house and we shot. I seen a couple of guns malfunction, but with the Mac, we put about 100 rounds through this gun with no malfunctions. Maybe even a little bit more than 100 rounds, but still no malfunctions. I bought this gun when I went on vacation down in southern Indiana in this small little place called Madison, and I asked if they had, Bulgarian Makarov or any kind of Makarovs, because they had Makarov rounds actually in stock. And I have a P64 that shoots that round, and I figured I can get some rounds for that gun. If they don't have anything, he brought this out. Now, I did overpay for this gun. I paid about $500 for it. But at that time, that's when the cough was really starting to ramp up. We didn't see as many lockdowns, but a lot of stuff was closed due to it. So, only with that being said, I look at this gun as a viable option because the ammunition can be found. I can find Makarov at my local store, and I was only paying about 14 to 16 bucks a box. And that was just for some good old ball ammo. Not to boot, when I was down there, I did buy defensive rounds for the Makarov. Either one that I have. I have a P64 and I have this Bulgarian. But this thing has been reliable. Now, am I saying this is the thing you take around and you plink all day with? No, because it does kind of wear on your hand after a while. But putting 50 rounds through this gun, it is a blast to shoot. Very, very accurate for being as old as it is. So if you can find the surplus guns, I highly recommend them. Now, if a scenario popped up where, you know, I lost all my guns and I only had this left with a couple hundred rounds, I'd feel comfortable that I can move around and find something a little bit better and still have my Makarov. That's how reliable this gun has been. So if you can find these old surplus guns, I highly recommend that you pick them up at any kind of cost, because you never know when imports will stop or they'll just become really, really hard to find, and then you'll almost double overpay from what I purchased. So that's my second honorable mention, the Bulgarian Makarov chambered in 9x18. Now, I had about 3 more other guns for my third honorable mention, but I picked this one again because of nostalgia, because this gun's been around for a while, especially in Italy, and it is the Beretta 1951. The Beretta 1951 was a pistol used in the Italian Navy, from what I gathered. Not only that, I bought this gun again when I was on vacation, a couple hours away from where I bought the Makarov. I bought this at a shop in Wheatfield, Indiana, or it might have been Whitefield, Indiana. But there's a YouTuber down there. His name's Chris. It's called Marksman TV. You can find it on YouTube. He owns a shop down there. So I stopped in there. His inventory was really low. I had a couple of handguns that I could choose from. But when I saw these on the shelf, not only did I get great customer service, I got a lot of background on this firearm and the others that were in his case, so I could kind of make up my mind. So I ended up going with this gun. Paid about $3.19 for it. We had these in my shop for about $1.99 at times when they were on sale. Other than that, they're about $2.99. So kind of overpaid, kind of didn't overpay for the gun. The market fluctuates so much with guns nowadays. It's just really hard to gauge prices, you know, post cough. It's really hard to gauge these prices. But I found this one down there. I was very, very surprised at it. Did have a little bit of a hiccup shooting the gun for the first time. But after I put 3 or 4 magazines through this gun, I think it woke up and just realized it was time to be pressed back in service, especially having range sessions. Now, the sights on the gun, I will say they're nothing to write home about. But taking this gun out and showing people, like, look how old this gun is. This gun is what paved the way of the Berettas that you see now, which are way better in design. But still, this is another classic piece that I highly recommend. If you can find one of these guns now, I know there's a bunch that were imported into the country. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with imported firearms or parts at this point. But if you can find these guns, find them for a reasonable price. If you're paying anything over $350, I would say no. But if you're under that price point, I'd say it's a good buy. You'll be satisfied. Now, always remember, when you buy these surplus guns, you're really going to have to clean them up. I had to really clean this one up. But then I started ringing steel as soon as I brought it out to the range. So this is my third honorable mention for my top 5. So if you made it all the way through this video, I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, share your favorite gun content, no matter what it is, all over the interwebs, because they're always constantly, you know, putting the gag on gun content that is shared around the internet. So my top number one firearm that I bought in 2020, and I highly recommend this gun, is the CZ75 SP01. This is a fantastic gun. There's all kinds of little amenities to this particular model, like the threaded barrel, the Picatinny rail, and just the single double action trigger with the decocker. It is really, really cool. A really cool gun. During that little shoot that we had this past summer, we stuck a suppressor on this gun and it ran flawlessly. No fails, no anything. And I was really surprised. It's almost got me to the point where I was thinking about buying a suppressor just for this gun. If the stuff hit the fan, it was over with, and we had to defend ourselves. I'm telling you right now, this gun is going to be over there on my plate carrier right on my chest, because it is that good. That's how much I recommend this CZ firearm. Now, I do own a CZ P10C, but I'm telling you, I would probably throw that one in the car and carry this gun. That's how confident I am in this firearm. It is a smooth shooting gun. 21 rounds of 9mm, which is really comparable. It's got suppressor height sights on it. It's just got a fantastic trigger. CZ makes some of the best firearms out there. And I was kind of skeptical when everybody was started to come out and buy the Shadows, the P10Cs, things like that. When I bought my P10C, I was like, this is a really good firearm. Again, that's why I got rid of my Glock 19 on top of it, because I have two guns that are comparable to that Glock 19, which is my FNS 9 and my CZ P10. So why do I need a Glock 19? So I traded that gun off, and then I picked this gun up, and I fell in love with it. Such a good firearm. Again, I can't tell you how much you will thank me if you find this gun for a reasonable price. Nowadays, you probably won't. We were shopping around for this gun on the internet, and I'm telling you right now, these guns were close to $1,100. It's not really the price point for this gun, but nowadays, that's what they come in at. I bought this gun at my shop on a steal when it was on clearance, and let me tell you, a steal it was. So again, this is my third honorable mention, which is the CZ75 SP01. If you find some kind of version of this firearm, thank me. Better yet, thank CZ for making this firearm. So that was my top 5 firearms with a couple of honorable mentions that I bought in 2020 that I recommend for anybody to go out and buy. Just remember, be careful with those budget guns, because you never know what you're going to get. So with all that being said, I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers, just the people that zip through. Greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share your favorite gun content, share my content, hit that bell for more notifications, and like always, now we'll catch you in 2021.